It's not something to be rushed into. It's not something to do haphazard. It's something that takes a very committed multidisciplinary team.
US-based Nigerian fetal surgery specialist shares experience with Nigerian counterparts.
The deadline for the capture of Shekau will be accomplished.
Days of Boko Haram leader numbered as troops promise to meet capture ultimatum. Plus, Niger Delta leaders throw weight behind government's development plan for the region. Good evening, a warm welcome to NTA Network News. I am Sheung Olagunju, and in Lagos is Ademola Adeoye, and Lami Ali is in Army Duguri studio. There are indications that fetal surgery, a highly sophisticated surgical procedure which makes it possible for medical experts to treat various life-threatening birth defects while the fetus is still undergoing development in the mother's womb, would be done in Nigeria. Professor Oluyinka Olutoye, the United States-based Nigerian doctor who achieved this feat at the Texas Children's Hospital, shared this unique expertise with Nigerian doctors at a lecture held at the National Hospital, Abuja. Health correspondent Rabi Abdallah was there. We would, however, like to warn that some viewers may be sensitive to some of the visuals in this report.
Nigerians became familiar with the term fetal surgery sometime last year when Nigerian-born Professor Oluyinka Olutoye successfully removed tumor from a fetal which was still in the mother's womb, a feat that made Nigeria to shine brightly on the global stage. He took participants at the lecture through the procedures, risks and benefits of fetal surgery.
It's not something to be rushed into. It's not something to do haphazard. It's something that takes a very committed multidisciplinary team.
His wife is also part of the fetal surgery team.
When the surgeons are working in the mother's womb, we administer high doses of volatile anesthetic so it can cause uterine relaxation. It's necessary for the uterus to be very relaxed while the surgeons are in there trying to work on the baby.
We had a meeting with this team and we believe that with collaboration, refining the structures available and the processes, we would be able to achieve the outcomes that was spoken about.
Participants at the lecture were mostly his fellow alumni of the Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife, who celebrated him as one of their own. In Abuja, Rabi Abdallah, NTA News.
And we have the honor of Professor Oluyinka Olutoye's presence as he joins me now in the studio to shed more light on the issue. Thanks for joining us, Prof.
Thank you, sir.
Well, the idea of fetal surgery sounds fantastic. So in layman's language, tell us what it is and when it becomes necessary.
Well, fetal surgery, just in simple terms, is being able to perform surgery on the fetus before birth. The womb has always been a sacred environment, far from the reaches of man, but with advances now we can actually go into the womb, perform surgery, and take care of some of the problems that may make it difficult for the child to have a good outcome after birth. And so it's really reserved for conditions that would either result in death of the fetus before birth, or those for which correction of those problems before birth would significantly impact the outcome afterwards.
So at what stage of fetal growth can this kind of surgery be performed, and what are the risks?
So depending on the condition that's being treated, fetal surgery can be performed at most stages of gestation, mostly within the second trimester. So most of the surgeries that we do when we actually go into the womb are from anywhere from about 18 weeks of pregnancy to as far as 26 weeks of pregnancy, and then we do some surgeries just before birth. Of course, with anytime you make any intervention into the womb or onto the fetus, you run the risk of losing the entire pregnancy. And so it's important to weigh the risks.
And what are the benefits?
Well, the benefits obviously are that we're saving the life of a child that would otherwise not make it through pregnancy, or correcting an anomaly that would now allow that child to have a much more fruitful, productive life.
I heard you trying to propagate it for it to be done in Nigeria. What's the viability of this procedure in a country like ours with high mortality and infant and mother mortality rate?
Well, I think in Nigeria there are a lot of human manpower, human resources already here. I trained in Nigeria. I went to King's College, Lagos. I went to Obafemi Awolowo University for my medical school. So my training was here in Nigeria, and several of my colleagues also. So The human capital is here. What we lack in Nigeria is infrastructure and resources to be able to maximize that human capital. So is it possible for Nigeria to do this? Yes. Are there several steps before we get to that level? Absolutely. But I think definitely it's not an impossibility, but there are several steps to go.
Congratulations, Prof, and we wish you more success as you go to.
Thank you.
And I've been joined in the studio by Professor Oluyinka Olutoye, Professor of Fetal Surgery, who has been propagating it to be done in Nigeria. Now, the Archbishop of Canterbury, Justin Welby, has paid a personal visit to President Muhammadu Buhari at the Abuja House in London, United Kingdom. A press statement by the Special Advisor to the President on Media and Publicity, Femi Adesina, says the Archbishop, who is a very good friend of the President, expressed delight at the rapid recovery President Buhari has made from his health challenge. He noted that it was a testimony of God's healing powers and answered prayers of millions of people around the world. President Buhari thanked the Archbishop for standing by him at critical times, wishing him God's continued grace in his spiritual duty of leading the Anglican Communion. To security matters now, troops of the Nigerian army have promised to capture the wanted Boko Haram leader, Shekau, within the deadline earlier issued by the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tukur Buratai. They made the commitment during the ongoing operational visits to army formations in the northeast, embarked upon by the Army Chief. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa has the details.
This is the Nigerian Army Special Forces School, located in Buniyadi, Yobe State. The Special Forces, one of the most feared fighting units, was created and trained to deal with specific emerging security challenge by complementing the efforts to regular military personnel. With the extreme security situation in some parts of the northeast requiring extreme fighting methods and the motto, no impossibility, these troops say the task of eradicating the remnant of the Boko Haram terrorists is a duty that will be accomplished. The Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tukur Buratai, is a regular guest in most of these formations. But this operational tour is in line with the recent presidential directives urging service chiefs to relocate to the northeast, the epicenter of the insurgency, for optimal control and command of the counter-insurgency operations.
The soldiers express gratitude and happiness with the Chief of Army Staff for being with them, and also promised him that deadline for the capture of Shekau will be accomplished.
Call it promotion from above, as Lieutenant General Tukur Buratai's searchlight for reward and encouragement fell on Staff Sergeant Victor Essien of 120 Battalion Gunuri, who was promoted to the rank of warrant officer. From Gunuri, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
Still talking security, Commandant National Defense College Rear Admiral Samuel Alade says with countries setting deadlines and ultimatum for improvement in technology of their national lives and security, the need for Nigeria to adjust to global trends in all sectors is imperative. He was speaking at the graduation of course 25 participants of the college in Abuja. Olajide Bello has the details.
The armed forces' success in the fight against insurgency and other forms of criminalities can be attributed to President Muhammadu Buhari administration's resolve to reposition the armed forces to a formidable and responsive fighting force to operate in line with international best practices in defending the nation's territorial integrity. In achieving this, emphasis is being placed on capacity building and information sharing.
In this capacity, it conducts peace support operation training in collaboration with the United Nations Department of Peacekeeping Operations, African Union, and Economic Community of West Africa, which is popularly known as ECOWAS, in addition to contributing to the development of basic structures for the implementation of the African Union and ECOWAS peace and security architecture.
The National Defense College, which is poised to impart knowledge, develop expertise and skills of selected senior military and civilian officers through firm understanding on essentials of national security and prepare them for higher responsibilities at operational and strategic level in national and international assignments have produced 2,134 graduates since inception. In Abuja, Olajide Bello, NTA News.
Acting President Professor Yemi Osinbajo has urged the nation's armed forces to prepare for the task ahead, which he explains is greater than what has been accomplished. He was speaking at the graduation ceremony of Course 25 of the National Defense College in Abuja. State House correspondent Jide Onifade reports.
Acting President Yemi Osinbajo says the battle has changed, both militarily and socially, which calls for nations to think out of the box, especially the oil-producing countries.
The inevitable decline of revenue and political importance of oil must inform our strategic plans for the future. We simply cannot assume that Nigeria can continue to depend on oil when all around us, everyone, including our big importers of oil, are turning away from oil.
The acting president, while explaining the challenges involved in dealing with ideology related to insurgency, reminds the military of the need to redefine their traditional roles.
Militaries around the world have realized that in the fight against religious extremism, it's much easier to win the war than to win the peace. It is much easier to neutralize the extremists than to neutralize the extremist ideology that both drives them and follows in their wake. That is a critical challenge for us in the Northeast.
The lesson learned from the Boko Haram insurgency, as he concludes, was that the nation should not wait until things are falling apart before showing care for the people. From the National Defense College in Abuja, Jide Onifade, NTA News.
Leaders and stakeholders in the Niger Delta region, led by elder statesman Edwin Clark, say the people of the region are satisfied with the federal government's development plan for the area and declared their interest to fully join the movement. This was after a 3-hour crucial meeting with Acting President Yemi Osinbajo in Abuja. State House correspondent Jide Onifade again reports.
The meeting was attended by who is who in the region, operating under the aegis of Pan-Niger Delta Forum. Their request tallied with that of the Buhari administration's new vision for the overall development of the Niger Delta region. The question being how soon the forum, early in the year, had demanded the immediate implementation of its 16-point requests, which it has continuously pursued. Acting President Yemi Osinbajo, who reiterated the federal government's commitment to realizing a new and prosperous Niger Delta, said quality time is spent day by day looking at how to implement the vision and undertaking visits to the zone to ensure everyone is brought on board in a transparent manner. Minister of State for Petroleum, Ibe Kachuku, is a member of the Interministerial Committee on the implementation of the development plan, who also attended the meeting.
Basically to explore how far we've gone with the fulfillment of our undertakings on the 16-point agenda at the time that we did the tour of the Niger Delta states. So several issues were discussed, issues related to development in Niger Delta generally.
Elder statesman and leader of the forum, Edwin Clark, commends the federal government for being forthright and showing commitment to improving the fortunes of the region.
We came in with our own address, and at the end, Mr. Acting President rounded it up, and we saw his genuineness. He's a gentleman, and we support him. We are satisfied. I don't call it ultimatum. We said we will withdraw.
To enhance the speedy development and restore peace in the Delta region, federal government has revamped the Niger Delta Development Commission to drive the creation of development and infrastructure projects in the region. In the State House, Jide Onifade, NTA News.
280 youths of the Niger Delta region are currently participating in the seafarers training organized by the NNPC, the Nigeria Ajib Oil Company, and Oando Joint Venture. The Queen of Tombras, Dr. Josephine Dietispe, flagged off the ceremony in Oron, Akwa Ibom State. Osinachi Samuel reports.
Seafarers training program is tailored to bridge the manpower gap in the marine sector of the Nigerian economy through the training of young graduates from the host communities to acquire skills and certification that will enable them gain employment at basic entry-level position in the marine industry.
The facilities are all in top shape. We expect you to also be hardworking, learn the things you're supposed to learn, and come out of this academy in flying colors.
The ministry is also committed in offering professional advice.
Ocean-going vessels in Nigeria are filled with foreigners, Filipinos, and all the rest. And we felt Nigerians should be trained.
This is the kind of collaboration we have been looking for to showcase what Academy stands for. It's a great opportunity for us.
While flagging off the maiden edition of the seafarers training in Oron, Akwa Ibom State, Dr. Josephine Dietispe appealed to the cadets to be focused, disciplined, and appreciative of what she called a golden opportunity.
That everything they are taught, they should observe it correctly and make sure that they come out, worthy ambassadors.
Gift Oloni, on behalf of the 280 cadets, thanked NNPC, Nigerian Ajib Oil Company, and Oando for the training and other welfare packages that will encourage them in the training. From the Maritime Academy of Nigeria, Oron, Akwa Ibom State, Osinachi Samuel, NTA News.
The federal government has distributed assorted relief materials to internally displaced persons of Azofia Ida in Ebonyi State to cushion the effects of land dispute that led to the displacement of people in the area. Chinaza John reports that the materials were handed over to the state government by the National Commissioner for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons in Abakaliki.
The people of Azofia were allegedly attacked by their neighbors in Obruba local government area of Cross River State following a land dispute in January this year that led to loss of lives and property in the area. The Federal Commissioner Hajia Sadia Umar Farouk said the gesture is meant to support state government's efforts towards the rehabilitation of displaced persons. She assured them of care, maintenance and durable solutions to persons of concern. Ebonyi State Governor, represented by his deputy, Dr. Kelechi Igwe, in appreciation for the prompt response, said the state government is committed to the welfare of the IDPs by providing security to ward off any reprisal attack. He called on the federal government as a matter of urgency to intervene to bring the crisis to an end. Some of the internally displaced persons expressed gratitude to the federal government. The commission had earlier in February delivered food and drugs to the victims. In Abakaliki, Chinaza John, NTA News.
We'd like to remind you that you can watch this news live online via the NTA mobile app, which you can download on your Android device at the Google Play Store or at the Apple Store if you use devices with iOS. We'll take our first break now. Senate orders arrest of chief executive officers of 34 companies. For what, you may ask? Join us after these messages for answers.
Let's pepper them. So tell somebody to tell everybody to come join Timaya, baby.
And they bring too much sauce. Glow Mega Music Talk.
It's gonna be a mad over you 10.
Yo, where you know we are showstoppers.
I'm your host for the biggest show ever.
If you miss the store, you're gonna miss everything. So join me, guys. Let's turn up.
We'll be storming across Nigeria. I won't be anywhere else.
Everyone who is anyone is going to be there.
All Nigeria's A-list musicians.
One big stage.
Live and direct.
Glow Mega Music Tour all over Nigeria.
So watch out because we dey come.
Let's go!
It's the Glow Mega Music Tour with your favorite anchors and special guest stars. It's gonna be untamed. Text music and your preferred location to 207. Use 2,000 Naira Glow airtime in 1 month to stand in line for your free ticket. So what are you waiting for? The Glow Mega Music Tour.
Glow Unlimited.
Hey!
Now who they here? My name now Mr. Shortcut. I dey mind my money. Now cheap one I dey buy. Standard, we sign. Now to buy cheap one. Hey, now one kind cable for my yard. A cheap building material where we take build my office. I think say I dey save money. Office building collapse and fire burn my house.
You don't see what happened to Mr. Shortcut? Well, Standards Organization of Nigeria, SON, don't ready for action and say enough of pain, loss and wastage. And if you see product where no dey correct, call the SON office when near you or SON help desk. Standards Organization of Nigeria, improving life through standards.
I'm downloading is on 95%. It's still on. Eh?
Introducing Airtel Unlimited Data Plans. Get Unlimited 10 for 10,000 Naira. Get Unlimited 15 for 15,000 Naira. And Unlimited 20 for 20,000 Naira. Unlimited data. Unlimited you.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
Get ready for the Diaspora Festival, Badagry, Lagos, as we welcome diasporans.
Our ancestors walked through the door of no return. Now we walk through the door of return.
And also to celebrate the cultural heritage of Nigeria. Theme, Voyage to Heritage, featuring a lot of exciting activities like the historic Door of Return ceremony, carnival procession, boat regatta, dark era procession, fishing competition, heritage site visits, international music concert, an international symposium, themed African diaspora beyond the Atlantic, and lots more. Date, 23rd to 25th of August 2017. For sponsorship and more information, please call... Come and join the Voyage to Heritage. See you there.
Do you know that the Nigerian police now operates in the best international practices of policing? Do you know that the Nigerian police has been restructured to be more accountable and responsive to all your security challenges? Now, what the police demand from you is your trust, your collaborative efforts by providing necessary information about criminals and their activities in your neighborhood. Be vigilant to achieve our creed as we promise. We shall police the country based on international core values of policing with integrity. We shall ensure that rule of law prevails in our actions and activities. We shall respect diversity, display courage, show compassion, and demonstrate professionalism. We shall operate within the principle of democratic policing. We shall shun corruption, and we shall make Nigeria safer and secured under the leadership of IGP Ibrahim Otum Idris.
Let the wind of change blowing across the country chase away crime for the benefit of our society. Yes, the Nigerian police says this change must come with peace and tranquility.
This message was brought to you by the Public Relations Department of the Nigerian Police Force.
Oh, she does it. Oh, she looks so terrific.
Second goal for Canada. One last chance to launch a massive one. Oh my goodness me!
Absolutely beautiful. That's another championship record. All-star once again in the throws.
But Bolt's already smiling. Dare we ever doubt him? 19.56. Usain Bolt is just unstoppable.
The Attorney
General of the Federation and Honorable Minister of Justice Abubakar Malami's son quarterly invites all stakeholders to the first National Summit on Justice to fashion out a national policy on justice for the nation. The summit will be declared open by His Excellency Professor Yemi Osinbajo, SAN, GCON, Acting President, Federal Republic of Nigeria. Chairman of the summit, Chief Justice of Nigeria, Honorable Justice Walter Onogen, GCON. Other dignitaries expected are Senate President Dr. Bukola Saraki, Honorable Ministers and Permanent Secretaries, President Court of Appeal, Inspector General of Police, Controller General Nigerian Prison Service. Date 10th August 2017. Venue Ladi Kwali Hall, Sheraton Hotel and Towers, Abuja. Time 9 a.m. The summit will be preceded by a technical session on the 8th and 9th of August 2017. Taiwo Abidogun, Solicitor General of the Federation and Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Justice, announcer.
Thanks for staying with us on the Network News. We begin this segment at the National Assembly. The Senate Joint Committee on Customs, Excise, Marine and Transport has issued warrants of arrest for 34 chief executive officers of companies who refused to honor the invitation by the committee. National Assembly correspondent Rabi Musa completes the report.
The committee, chaired by Senator Hope Uzodinma, said the Commissioner of Police has been directed to produce the CEOs next week. He said a lot of infractions were discovered in the importation of goods into the country. He stressed that it can no longer be business as usual for the companies.
We are worried that if it is not stopped, the foreign exchange rate will continue to embarrass the genuine citizens of this country. They must be brought here and they must be arrested, statement under caution, because we have given them 3 opportunities to come and they are not here.
Some of the company CEOs at the Senate committee sitting explained how difficult it might be to meet the committee's demands. A public hearing is expected to be organized for all stakeholders in the industry. Rabi Musa, NTA News.
The national leadership of the All Progressives Grand Alliance, ABGA, is appealing to the police authority to investigate who is responsible for the vandalism of its national secretariat, taking away some valuable documents. Political correspondent Abdullahi Garba Kudu has the details.
This is the national secretariat of the All Progressives Grand Alliance, ABGA, located at number 44 Liverville Crescent, Wuse 2, Abuja. Staff of the Secretariat were confronted with a ransacked office when they reported for duty Friday morning. The National Secretary, Mr. Labaran Maku, who conducted journalists around the building, says sensitive documents are missing.
They broke the chain and the padlock at the main entrance to the office. Then they came with burglars, professional burglars and carpenters. They destroyed the key to the main office, forced their way into the office, vandalized all our documents, took away sensitive documents from the headquarters, our files, the constitution of the party, the manifesto of the party, documents that will relate with INEC.
When contacted, the FCT Police Command, through its public relations officer, said they are yet to receive a report on the matter. The All Progressives Grand Alliance is at the moment engulfed with leadership crisis. In Abuja, Abdullahi Garba Kudu, NTA News.
The federal government has set up a technical committee towards adopting and implementing the agricultural insurance agreement signed between Nigeria and Morocco in December 2016. Musa Baba Aliu reports.
The Morocco's insurance system that Nigeria is adopting covers all aspects of crop production per hectare, from land clearing to the harvest, spanning 500 to 10,000 hectares.
Indexed insurance, it's a new product to Nigeria, but that's where technology is going, and we also want to exploit. It is most beneficial to farmers.
The federal government is adopting the system to leapfrog farmers to produce more, as insurance cover is there to protect them against environmental challenges such as flooding and drought.
We are doing the collaboration with NAYEC and Mandarin is a new innovation in protecting and covering risks and losses in the agri value chain.
The Federal Ministry of Agriculture will adopt the system through the Bank of Agriculture and the Nigerian Agricultural Insurance Corporation. In Abuja, Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
The Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, will continue to be relevant as the largest TV network in Africa if members of staff step up their commitment and readiness to work. The Director General of the NTA, Malam Yakubu Ibn Mohammed, made the remark during his visit to NTA Abuja. Anthony Gandonu has the details.
At a meeting with members of staff, the General Manager NTA Abuja, Mr. Bernard Akingbola, expressed delight over the visit by the DG. He described the #1 man of NTA as a committed achiever who had recorded many successes for the organization even before his appointment as DG.
Normally, we transmit at the average of 10 hours. Sometimes it's 12, sometimes it's 13. And that we have been very, very consistent on air.
In his response, the Director General Malami Yakubu Ibn Mohammed said his visit was part of his nationwide tour of all NTA stations in the country to assess situations of each station and find ways of resolving them. The Director General pointed out that he was aware of some of the challenges facing NTA as a whole and promised to try his best in returning the glory of the largest TV network in Africa.
I want you to develop a very good working relationship with your subordinates. Nothing in the books, nothing in the civil service group says you should disrespect those who work under you.
Thereafter, the Director General, in company of the station's management staff, took a facility tour around some offices in Ogbe and transmission site of NTA Abeokuta situated at Okeguya, where the DG saw things for himself. In Abeokuta, Anthony Gandonu, NTA News.
The plight of pensioners on the front burner in Lagos. Ademola is standing by with the full gist and other reports. It's over to you, Ademola.
Thank you, Cheryl. Good evening and warm welcome to Lagos. The Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, says the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, has been repositioned to align with the dynamism of digital broadcasting. He stated this at a roundtable meeting with management of the NTA and other relevant stakeholders in the development of the media industry in Lagos. Tunde Saiki has the details.
In a bid to ensure an upgrade in programming, transmission and content development in Nigerian Television Authority, immediate collaboration with private sector is imperative. This aim, the Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, says can be achieved through experience sharing as well as collaboration with other relevant stakeholders in order for NTA to break new grounds in the industry.
We decided to meet, and at the end of the meeting last week, to decide that there are 4 broad areas that we could cooperate. One in the area of set design, another in sort of knowledge transfer, content, and also in terms of archiving, and that's what we have been able to achieve today.
The roundtable meeting served as a platform for stakeholders to showcase the various areas through which this initiative can be actualized. Participants at the forum agreed to continue to work together through training and development of relevant tools that will be beneficial to the African largest TV network. In Lagos, Tunde Saiki, NTA News.
Building intelligence capacity of officers and the reintroduction of Human Resources Management Department in the Nigerian police are relevant steps required to reposition the police for effective service delivery in crime fighting. Professor of Criminology, University of Jos, Etanibe Alemeka, stated this at a public lecture on security organized by the Inspector General of Police, Ibrahim Idris, in Lagos. Joy Ken Abapoya has the details.
Lemika said forums to discuss security challenges and solutions have become mere talk shops because there has been too much emphasis on technicalities rather than pragmatic and strategic solutions. The way forward, as explained by Professor Lemika, is to foster a sustainable synergy among security agencies and stop proliferation of security outfits to foster duplication of responsibilities in crime fighting.
The current law guiding the police is basically a 1943 law
we've watched it, but it's a 1943 law. We have not found it worthy to be revised.
Lagos State Governor Akinwumi Ambode, who was represented by the Deputy Governor Idiat Adebule, stressed the need for the National Assembly to legislate on the creation of state police to reduce crime and safeguard investments in the state.
Although the issue of state police has not gained the desired consensus, I believe strongly that it is the panacea for effective policing that is community-based.
We need the populace to give us information, intelligence, and other support in these crime-fighting efforts. It is in this regard that we introduce the concept of community policing strategy.
The theme of the public lecture is providing strategic solutions to emerging security challenges. In Lagos, Joy Ken Abakboya, NTA News.
And now to business news. Government restates commitments to support Nigeria's industrial sector as expert urges stakeholders and government to boost tourism to conserve the nation's foreign exchange. Amechi Pius has details on our business news segment.
Hello, it's time to talk business, and nice to have you join us on this segment of the news. Summer is that period of the year when many families in Nigeria embark on foreign trips outside the country in search of fun and relaxation. Europe and America are often choice destinations for fun seekers. During such period, the nation loses millions of foreign exchange, a development which some economic watchers believe has necessitated an urgent need for Nigeria to develop its tourism potential to conserve forex for the nation.
Because the more of our resources we spend locally, the greater the impact on the economy. So in the spirit of the current economic transformation and the need to look inwards, I think we should encourage more Nigerians to stay at home and enjoy their vacations and holidays within the country.
Nigeria, no doubt, is blessed with abundant human and natural resources. The challenge, therefore, is for the nation to harness its tourism potential to make the industry attractive and revenue earner for the nation.
We have tourist locations in the north, we have in the south, we have in the middle belt. But we need to also make those locations more attractive in terms of the kind of amenities we provide in those locations and in terms of the security that we also provide. It is also important to improve the transportation system domestically.
As government strives to break barriers affecting the ease of doing business in Nigeria, the Director General of the Standards Organization of Nigeria, Usita Aboloma, has expressed the agency's resolve to providing local manufacturers of products with relevant standards to give operators the competitive advantage in a global market.
We'll do our part to always avail them with the necessary standards so that their goods will be acceptable within Nigeria. People will have confidence in their goods in Nigeria so that their goods will be okay for exports.
Here are closing figures at the nation's capital market today.
The all-share index finished at 37,445.15. Market capitalization was 12.89 trillion naira. Investors committed more than 6.30 billion naira to 515.47 million shares in 4,132 deals.
And that's business news. Thanks for being a part of it. The news continues shortly. Please stay with us.
You're still watching NTA Network News. We now take a break for some messages, after which the news continues from Abuja. Stay with us.
Here we are.
I think this is the old drawing, no?
These are old drawings?
Yes, sir.
We should go. Email me the new drawings immediately.
Yes, sir. I think you might want to try my glow line, sir.
Glow 4G LTE.
I thought you were about to send a chopper back for that drawing.
Why rely on anything else? These data plans are available to all new customers and existing customers who renew their plans. Dial *777#. Welcome to the new speed of life. Friday, 11th August is Free Data Day nationwide. Get 200 MB free data and make something happen.
This must be one of Mother Nature's greatest gifts. But there's something else it gives us. When we see such beauty, we want to share it with those we love. That's what LG wants you to see. Just what we see now through our technology. LG OLED TV.
Do you know the 125? McVitie's Digestive is celebrating 125 years by giving away millions of naira in cash and airtime in the 125 promo from the 1st of July to the 30th of September. Simply buy any of the McVitie's Digestive special promo packs, scratch the foil, and text the codes to 55332, and you could be one of the lucky winners. Now, that's the 125. Keep buying, keep scratching, and keep winning.
Approved by the National Lottery Regulatory Commission. Nigerians. Suicide bombers are not spirits. They are not ghosts. They are human beings like you and me. They live amongst us. They are your neighbors. They are your friends today, but terrorists tomorrow. So you must know your neighbor now. Security begins with you and me. Know your neighbor. Be vigilant. Be security conscious. Report suspicious persons, objects, and movements to the police and other security agencies. The security of our nation is a duty for you and me.
If you see something, say something. Nigeria, unite against terrorism. This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
You're still watching NTA Network News. The new leadership of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, has been commended for the recent accountability and transparency in the operations of the corporation. Auditor General of the Federation, Anthony Aine, and his team gave the commendation while on a business visit to the corporate headquarters in Abuja. Aine acknowledged the virtue of probity, accountability and transparency enshrined in the last 1 year of Dr. Mekanti Baru in office.
That the accounts of NNPC that was in arrears, the new managing director of NNPC Group have updated that the account of NNPC is now all audited up to 31st December 2014.
There is any institution that has been that transparent in government and will continue to do that transparently.
The NNPC GMD promised a lifestyle of continuous transparency and accountability with up-to-date publication of NNPC audited accounts. The management of the Union Bank of Nigeria PLC has restated its commitment to unveiling 3 more upgraded branches across the country. The assurance came at the 100th year anniversary of the bank in Kano. Binta Adamu reports.
Bank of Nigeria PLC has a long and proud history dating back to 1917 when it first opened its doors for businesses as a colonial bank. In 1925, it was bought by Barclays, becoming Barclays Bank, Colonial and Overseas, which has remained until the early 1970s. Since then, the bank has continued to provide efficient and effective services to its numerous customers nationwide. The essence of upgrading the 2 branches is to provide simple and smarter banking services to its teeming customers. The bank's transformation director, Joe Imbule, says the bank is committed to ensuring satisfaction for its customers.
Union Bank has come to transform banking in Kano. We have perhaps the best products, our systems are best in class, and our link with the customer is strengthened because every service we develop is done with the customer in mind.
The team leader, media and communication, Omotola Onyebanjo, says the event is significant because the first branch of Union Bank Kano was founded in 1949 from its 100 years existence. She says the transformation has taken place with the bank's Nigerian online banking, mobile banking, among others, to bring arrays of financial services for the comfort of customers.
Over the next few months, we're also upgrading another 4 branches. And the next 2 years, we're launching another 4 new branches.
Some of the bank customers speak.
They give you advice, proper advice as to how to run your businesses.
It's the only commercial bank amongst the earliest rehabilitation banks that still remain its identity.
And I even advise our wheat farmers. We even put our application to 1.5 billion with Union Bank.
Union Bank PLC is one of the Nigeria's leading and respected bank, serving individual, small and medium-sized customers. From Kano, Binta Adamu, NTA News.
Farmers hope for a better harvest in rice production as they receive assistance from the federal government. This and more with Lami in Maiduguri. Hello, Lami.
Thank you, Sheun. Glad to have you join us in Maiduguri. Following federal government's plan to diversify the economy, the Anchor Borrow Program of Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, has disbursed cash and farm inputs to rice farmers in Borno State. A technical committee on the implementation comprising organizations involved in executing the program were in Maiduguri for the distribution. Pauline Kujevana has the details.
Governor Kashim Shettima has officially launched the input distribution of the Anchor Borrow CBN program at Gongolon Rice Farm with a call on the farmers to use the farm input for the purpose intended. The Managing Director, Bank of Agriculture, Kabiru Mohammed Adamu, and the Commissioner for Agriculture, Mohammed Dile, said the program was introduced as part of renewed effort to boost rice production in the country and warned against diversion. Development Finance Officer, CBN Maiduguri, Mohammed Nyako, said CBN approved over 10 billion naira as loans for proposed 40,000 rice farmers in Borno State. On behalf of the farmers, Abiso Kabir pledged to redouble commitment to ensure effective implementation of the program and a successful rice production. Each farmer received FARO 44 rice seeds, fertilizer, generator, chemicals, knapsack spray, water pump, 2 horses, 70 sacks and cash for labor component. In Maiduguri, Pauline Kujevana, NTA News.
In the meantime, over 6,000 households in Borno State have benefited from a World Bank livelihood support project being implemented under the Fadama Tree program. Among items distributed are food and farm inputs to economically empower returnee IDPs. The distribution exercise was held in Chibok. The World Bank Food and Livelihood Support is for communities worst hit by insurgency in southern Borno, covering 5 local government areas of Chibok, Goza, Dambua, Askira-Uba, and Mafa in Borno Central. Flagging of the distribution, Governor Kashim Shettima, represented by Commissioner Reconstruction, Rehabilitation and Resettlement, Professor Babagana Umar Zulum, urged other communities to key into the Fadama project towards boosting agro-based activities to achieve food security. Project Coordinator Fadama Tree, Borno State, Bukar Talba, said the livelihood and emergency food support are meant to restore hope and confidence for returnees. In addition to the farm inputs, the livelihood support project featured distribution of sewing and grinding machines to women, provision of solar-powered boreholes, feeder roads, clearing of liberated towns, and repair of damaged infrastructure. Other stories from here, it's back to Sheun in Abuja. Have a good evening.
Thank you, Lami. Now, religious leaders have been urged to unanimously pray against kidnapping, which is described as an act of terror against humanity. Deputy Chief Imam of the National Mosque, Abuja, Ustaz Musa Makeri, made the plea in his Jumat sermon. Ado Adamu also completes the report.
The menace of kidnapping across the country, the Islamic scholar said the time is ripe for collective resolve to confront it head-on. He highlighted the need for religious leaders to pray fervently against perpetrators of the act. The Islamic scholar emphasized that security agencies alone cannot fight evils in the society without the engagement of people of goodwill.
Rampant in Nigeria nowadays, that Nigerian security agencies need to tighten their belt in fighting these abductors and tracing them wherever they are and dealing with them appropriately.
The Jumad features special prayers for the nation's civil service as the 2017 Federal Civil Service Week commemoration started with the service.
The purpose is to produce an incorruptible, efficient, productive, and public citizen-centered civil servant who will meet up to the expectation of society.
Muslim faithfuls use the weekly congregational prayers to pray for the nation. From the National Mosque, Abuja, Adua Demualso, NTA News.
Up ahead as we take another break, foreign news, some sports news, and Saturday's weather prospects. Don't go away.
The National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, is working to ensure access to safe, good quality essential medicines with the World Health Organization pre-qualification of made in Nigeria pharmaceutical products, stiffer penalties for fake drug offenders with a review of NAFDAC laws, national, regional, and international collaborations, cutting-edge technologies, including the mobile authentication service.
NAFDAC as an agency is indeed doing so much to protect the health of our nation. I urge everyone to support NAFDAC in ridding the country of fake drugs and unwholesome products.
Let us support NAFDAC to win the war against fake drugs and other unwholesome regulated products. NAFDAC, safeguarding the health of the nation.
The funeral of Lady Harriet Ihuerulam Obiefule, aged 88 years, has been announced by the family. Lady Obiefule passed on peacefully in March 2017. Service of songs and tributes to her will be held on Friday, 4th August 2017, while funeral service and interment will take place on Saturday, 5th August at Obiefule family compound, Oguwemi Isiala, Umozu in Ukwangele, local government area of Imo State. She was a devout Christian and a mentor to many women and girls, freely counseling and teaching them domestic arts, sewing, handcrafts, and agriculture. She was also a notable women leader who galvanized women in her domain for meaningful community development activities. She is survived by many children, grand and great-grandchildren, sons-in-law and relatives, including Mr. Charles Chikezie, retired Federal Director of Information and former board member of the FRCN. Also Mrs. Amarachi Chukwu of the Administration Department of FRCN. Charles Chikezie for the family announced.
Let's now join Obiageli Ugwoke for news trending across the globe.
Hello and welcome to this segment of the news. As Rwandans go to the poll, 3 candidates are canvassing for the post of the president of the country. Reports say incumbent President Paul Kagame is expecting to win this third term on the RPF tickets, judging by the number of people who turned up at his rally. His contenders are Frank Habineza of Democratic Green Party and independent candidate Philip Paimana. President Kagame has promised stability, security and economic growth. Frank Habineza pledged improvements on land ownership, housing for armed forces, whereas Philip Paimana said he will improve infrastructure and provide better access to health care. In Dubai, a large fire has ripped through a residential skyscraper in the United Arab Emirates. Civil defense workers successfully evacuated people from the building and the fire was brought under control. It is not yet clear what caused the fire. The building is one of the world's tallest, and this incident is the second time in 2 years. Moving on, the special counsel investigating Russia meddling in the U.S. election has begun using a grand jury in Washington. Grand juries were used to issue subpoenas to compel people to testify. President Trump has again poured scorn on the inquiry, telling a rally to West Virginia it was a total fabrication.
So they're trying to cheat you out of the future with a fake story.
And British cyber security researcher Marcus Hutchins will appear in the court anytime soon in Las Vegas for a cybercrime case. The 23-year-old has been accused of involvement with Kronos, a piece of malware used to steal banking details from victims' computer. And that's all we have for you on this package. The news continues.
Into sports now. As long as athletics in the country continue to suffer neglect and maladministration, so will enthusiasts remain resolute in charting the way forward. So it was on the Sport Parliament on the NTA when a former AFN president was invited to take the viewers to the past in order to set the path for the future. Henry Effiong has the details.